Bridget Bartlett here, and today I'm going to show you how to build a knowledge base for your business like this one from scratch using HighLevel. Yesterday, I walked you through the process of basically the workflow, how you create it, how you put it all together, how you create your articles, and all of those things. But today, I'm really going to break it down so that you can literally follow this training from beginning to end and create your knowledge base. Okay. Now, I did add these features here. This is actually really cool. You just click here and it goes right to the category that is in the that we just clicked on. And yesterday I showed how to do the menu. So I'm going to actually show you how to do both of those because you kind of need to create the menu before you can actually create these. So before I get started, I did want to let you know that I actually created a template like I just showed you there. And if you're a member of our program, you can actually get access to this for free. You want to go to your resource area and you want to go to snapshots and you'll scroll down to where you see knowledge base. And here is where you want to transfer that into your account. Okay, so you guys don't have to start from scratch. You can just use this template and then of course make it your own. Okay, so I'm inside this demo account and the first thing that I actually need to do is create the blog. Now you can see in this account I don't have a blog, so if you've never opened up the blog builder, this is where you're going to go. And before I go too deep into this, I did not tell you if you would like to join our program, you can go to bridgetbartlett.com. We do have options for new and current HighLevel members to join for free. Okay, so I'm actually going to now just click here to create my blog. So I need to create a blog post. Now, in this example, I'm just going to use generic info because yesterday I showed you my specific use case, and I don't want to make it so specific to me that you can't think about ways that you would use this for your business. Okay, now, of course, this is a blog builder, but what we're using it for is a knowledge base because it has all the same functionality as a knowledge base does. So I'm just going to say article 1, like I have caps on, article 1. And of course, we need an image here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the image. But you saw before it says 600 by 400. Okay. So what I need to do is I can just come to Canva and I'm going to create a custom size. I'm going to do 600 by 400. You can see I already had that chosen. So now I have this image here. Now, what I did on this version is I just used a little file icon and then I made it actually small within the image. Okay. So this is how I got that result. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Of course, your image can be anything, but I just wanted to make sure that it showed up as a small image. I didn't want it to be very big. Okay, so I'm just going to choose. You can see I already have this here. So I'm just going to make this kind of small, and we'll go ahead and leave it black, but since it's an element, I could actually change it to any color. Now, I'm going to call this folder and then let's say 600 by 400, because if you do have to change this multiple times, it's helpful to me to put the size of it. That way I know what size this particular image is without having to investigate that. So I'm going to download this. I'm going to download as PNG and I'm going to make it transparent. I could also compress the file size. It is a lower quality, but we still, even when creating blogs and our knowledge base with the blog builder, we want to make sure that our images are fairly small so they don't take too long to load. So I'm going to go ahead and click download. And now what I need to do is go back over to my blog builder. So you'll see here that we're adding it to the file. So I'm going to go ahead, go back here. Now I'm going to click here and now it wants me to add that image to my gallery. So I'm going to go up here where my downloaded files are and I'm just going to drag this here. Okay, so now it's uploaded. I'm going to double click that. So now I have my image there and I can add some alternate text for the cover image. I'm just going to duplicate this here. And for the post description, I'm just going to say article 1 and create my post. Okay, so now I've actually created my first post. Now here is where I would want to create the content for the article. Okay, and I talked about this yesterday, but you can see basically you have all of the same editing options that you do in like a Word document. Okay, so you can, of course, undo and redo, bold, italicize, all of these options. Choose your font, the size, the paragraph text or heading. You can choose the alignments. You can indent or outdent. You can set your text spacing and all of these different things that you can do. You can insert videos here. You can use the hosted video. I'm sorry, that was the insert link, but so you can insert links there. You can also insert images here. You can also add audio and video. The video is, you can choose YouTube or the self-hosted inside of HighLevel. You also can add like insert quotes and emojis and a divider, and you can insert code, which is like what I use when you're adding videos. I use Streamable, actually. Streamable is a super, super great, affordable, simple video host. I use that because it's easier for me to have all of my videos there, and it's super cheap. But if you have that video, all you need to do is click here, and then you can embed your code, and then now you have your video embedded just like you see here. Okay, so I do love the blog builder. You can add these checklists to your blog. You can really design it and with lots of different options here. Okay, so you also can use the content AI inside of the blog builder. So it really, I mean, there's nothing here that you don't have that you need. Okay. So if you did want to preview the blog, you could do preview. You could also duplicate this post if you want to see previous versions or even delete it. But I'm going to say that I'm happy with this, and I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And then here from the title, it actually automatically creates the URL slug. And this is what's going to be after your domain. It even gives you an example here. Okay, so if your domain is example.com, it's going to say example.com/b/article-1. Okay, so it's going to change whatever you add here. Now I'm going to choose my category, but you see that I don't actually have any categories. So I need to create a category, and I'm going to call this let's say cat 1. Okay, so we're going to say category. And now you'll see here that I need to upload an image for this category, and this is going to be 512 by 512. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Canva here, and instead of adding a new file here, I'm going to just go ahead and copy this. What's this magic switch? I think this is a new thing. Interesting. Okay, so I literally just saw that. Okay, so I think literally they just did an update and now my settings are a little weird. So I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to do 512 by 512. Okay, and create new design. And then so now we have our perfect size here. I'm going to go ahead and just use that same element. I'm just going to stick that in the middle there, and let's say folder 512 by 512. Okay, and I'm going to download. I'm going to choose transparent. Let's compress it and download. So now what I need to do is come back over here. It's going to download. There we go. And now I need to click here, and I want to add that folder to my gallery. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to double click. So now we need to add category 1 here to the alternate text for the SEO. We want to create a slug, and this slug is going to be for the category, not the post. Okay, when we created the post, it created that URL slug there, but this is for the actual category. So we're going to say cat 1 here. And I'm going to actually eliminate that space, and we can add some category description there, and then go ahead and create the category. Okay, so we created the category. Now we need to select it. So it's cat 1. Of course, we could select multiple, and we want to add keywords. Now the keywords are really important because that is what is going to make your article searchable. Okay, so since we used kind of dummy info, I'm not going to use keywords here, but if I did want to choose like test, then I could type in that keyword there. You just want to make sure that whatever keywords you use are going to be relevant to the specific article that someone would type in. So if I'm typing in how to create a funnel, I want to use the word funnel. okay, or sales funnel, or maybe even website, because sometimes they're interchangeable, right? So you want to be very conscious of that. The keywords are very important when it comes to using that search functionality. So I'm also going to add an author here. Now you can see I don't have an author created, but that's okay. I could just click here and then create my author. So I'm just going to say author 1. And I could, of course, upload an image of my author. To make this simple, I'm just going to choose that folder because it said 512 by 512. So I could, of course, come back here, post my profile image here, get it the perfect size, download it, upload it to my gallery, and then use that. But for the sake of this training, I'm just going to make it simple. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that alternate text. I could add some description about this author. I could paste all of their social media links, and that's what's going to make it show up at the bottom of every article. But again, I'm just, for the sake of time, just going to go ahead and create this author here. And then, of course, I want to select the author. I can save this as a draft, and I can publish it or schedule and publish it. I'm actually just going to publish these, and I'm going to zip through a couple more so that we have them to use when we're creating our page. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll duplicate this post. I'm going to come back here. Let's go ahead and let's make sure that the SEO is updated. So we're going to say 2. And let's change this to 2 and 2. And we're going to update that because this is the different blog post. Let's go ahead and edit the post now. And we have all of our content there. So let's click continue. And you'll see here that I added numbers at the end, and that's because it already had that slug. So we're just going to add 2 there. And of course, we could choose the same category, but what I want is to create an additional category. So what I really want to do is create 3 articles and 3 categories so that when we build our page, we have some content that I can use to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose cat 2, and we'll choose that same image here, and we'll say cat 2 and cat 2, and we can even add that here. Okay, so now we have our second category. And same thing with the keywords. Go ahead and add that there. We want to, of course, make sure to put all of that in there, but for this case, I'm not going to use any. We can use the same author. I'm going to go ahead and publish, and we're going to choose now and save. Okay, so let's do one more. And we're going to duplicate. Okay, so let's go update the SEO here. So this is going to be Article 3. Article 3 and Article 3. And update. And let's go ahead and update the post now. And we're going to go ahead, change this to a 3. And of course, we need to add a new category. So we have cat 3. And let's add our image. And cat 3. And cat 3. And cat 3. Okay, and create category. All right, so now we want to select our third category with our third article. We can remove that too there. We could add our keywords if we wanted to. We're going to choose the same author, and we're going to publish right now. So I'm going to save. All right, so we very quickly created 3 articles, 3 categories, and our author. If you did want to go back and change any of that, you could just click that gear box there. You'll see here is the author information. You can just click there to edit. Here are the categories that we created. Just click there and edit. And then, of course, if you did want to grab that RSS feed, you need to connect your domain, okay? So when you are trying to decide the domain that you want to use, if you are wanting to add your knowledge base to a separate domain, like a subdomain of your main domain, I don't recommend choosing a completely separate domain. But if mine is My Vision Agency, help.myvisionagency would be the choice if I was going to have it on a separate domain. You could also add this as a page inside of your website. Okay, so let's go back here now that this is created, and I'm actually going to choose a website page here, and let's go ahead and just create this from scratch. Okay, so let me show you both ways actually. If I wanted to add this page to my website, I would just simply come up here, click add the page, and then I could type in knowledge base. And I could have my URL, which maybe I want it to be knowledge base or help knowledge base. Okay, and then create new page. All right, so if I wanted this to be mydomain.com/knowledge base, I need to put that inside of my website. Okay, but I'm actually, and most people do create a separate website for their knowledge base. So what I'm going to do is delete this. And I am going to create a separate website. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to create a page. I'm going to start from blank, and I'm going to call this knowledge base. Knowledge base. And create. Okay, so I'm going to go click in here to my website I just created, and I'm going to add a page here. So let's just call this home and home because this is the first page of my website. And I'm actually going to create from blank because I want to make sure to show you guys how to actually create this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drag in a row, and I actually like to just start out with 3 rows. Okay, so I have 3 rows all the same. Now I want to, and if you look up here, this is very simple to create. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Do you want me to show you how to create this up here? Or do you want me to focus on this? Because I'm a little concerned with time. Okay, so let's do this. I am going to go ahead and just make this header and footer black so that I can see the different spaces. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a column here. Okay, now you'll see here that we have the banner up here, we have the menu, we have like the hero banner, we have the section here that has the blog, and then we have the footer down here. Okay, so what I would technically need to do is create 2 headers if I wanted to duplicate this same website page. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to add my menu here. So I'm going to go ahead, add the menu. Where's my menu? I can search here, menu. And here we go. So I'm going to drag that in. So now I have this menu, and of course I can customize this and change all the colors. And let me go ahead and make this transparent, and we can change the text to white so we can see it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just remove that logo there, and we'll go ahead and save. Okay. I see some, Ray says, I suggest you go ahead to the next part. That's kind of what I was thinking, Ray, too. I certainly don't want to waste too much time on that because you want to know how to do this part, right? So this part right here is the blog element. Okay, so I'm going to click here now, and let me actually put a color behind this too. All right, so I'm just going to choose this blue color. So I'm going to search now blog, and you'll see that there are actually 2 elements. Okay, so I guess when I search blog, it doesn't show that. If you scroll down to blog, you'll see that you see blog posts and category navigation. Okay, so I actually need that category navigation, and you can see here that we have 3 menu items and then the search box. So I kind of talked about this yesterday. What I want to do here is I want to remove these. I would love to be able to just have the search box, but you can see here's the options I have with the search box right now. So what I want to do is I want to just change this to say, how can we help you? Okay. Now I do need to choose a category to put with this. Okay. It won't let me click submit unless I choose a category. So I'm just going to choose a category. Now on mine, what I actually did is I created like a support category. All right. And then I linked out to it. So you can see I have a support article here with all of the resources and all of that stuff that pertain to our program here. Okay, so that's what I did with mine. But of course, just for the sake of training, I'm going to go ahead and add that to category 1. Okay, so that's where I'm going to send them if they decide to click there. But I really don't want it to be clickable. So there are some workarounds here. You can see that my text is black right now. I'm going to go ahead and make the text white. And then when they hover over it, I'm going to make it the same color. Okay, because I don't want it, if I kept it like this, when you hover over it, you'll see it looks clickable because it changes colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep that white, okay? Because I don't necessarily need them to click on it. They can always search for support if they need it, okay? Now, coming down here, I can change the spacing and all of that. Really, what I want to focus on is just the desktop here. And of course, I want to go back and then make sure that the mobile is the right size too. So I'm just going to have it like this. And now we have our desktop and our mobile, and all of that looks good. All right, so now going back to our little template here, now we need this section here, okay? Now to be able to get the links that we have here, we need to actually grab this navigation menu again, okay? So we're actually gonna use this again and have two of them. Oops, let's go back here. Here we go, category, we'll drag that in. Except on this one, we're going to remove this search box, okay? So let's go ahead and remove. Now I want to add my categories here, and I'm going to choose the category that I want it to go with. Okay, so this is going to be cat 1, and I'm going to choose cat 1 here. All right, so now here is going to be cat 2, and I'm going to choose category 2, and then we have cat 3, and then I'm going to choose category 3. All right, now I am going to choose to have them open in a new tab. You don't necessarily, actually, I won't have it do that. Because normally I wouldn't. I was going to show you how to grab the link there and make it easy, but I want to make sure that you guys understand. The best practice is to not have things open in a new tab, okay? But if you're sending them outside of your website, you want to have them open in a new tab. That way, if they're reviewing information and they're coming back to your website, you definitely want to make that easy for them, okay? So I'm not going to go ahead and open in a new tab, but I am going to change this color here to white. Okay, so now we have how can we help you with our search box, and then we have our categories there. Okay, now I can change that hover color too because we are using a blue background, so it kind of makes it disappear. Okay, so now we have that. I'm going to go ahead and save. If I preview this and I click here for category 1, okay, I forgot a step. Let's go back because we need to connect our domain. The purpose of that was to grab the actual link that is going to go to our category. But to do that, we need to select a domain. So I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to add or edit domains. All right. Now I do have a domain in this website here, but I'm just going to choose, let's choose this domain here. Okay, so I'm just going to choose a random domain just for the sake of this training, and I'm going to paste that in. But remember, I can use this as it is, or I can use a subdomain. So most of you will want to use a subdomain. So I'm going to type in help dot and then my domain. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and it is going to find my domain. And if it is on one of the most popular registrars like Cloudflare, it will actually add it for you. If you do not have this option, you can just go ahead to your registrar and add these records, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and authorize Cloudflare to do that. And it's going to ask me, do I want Lead Connector to add those records there? And it's going to actually add those for me. So that is a fairly new feature with HighLevel, that it will just add those records. So that's really, really cool. It only takes a few seconds, and as soon as it finds it, it's adding the records, and then as soon as it finds it, it's going to allow me to actually use the domain. So there we go. So now I'm going to choose the website that I want to connect it to. Now I don't have another page here, but if I did have a 404 page that I wanted to connect it to, I could choose that here. Okay, so you see, like on the website that comes with our program, we do have a 404 page. I could actually still use that if I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and just select that and then click link domain. Okay, so now I have my website or my knowledge base on help.mybizlink.us. Now, if I go back to my website here, you'll see now it is connected. Now, if I go to my website and I open this up, in the live preview, which was what I was showing you before, it's going to open up in that, it does take a second the first time after you connect the domain. So what I want to do, now that I'm in the live version, I want to go ahead and click this to get the category. Now, you'll see here, let me show you here, in the website URL, you'll see that this is what the actual link is. So we have help.mybizlink.us, home, because that's the page that it's on, and then /C, and then our category name. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to actually take this. I'm going to just grab this scratch paper here, or notepad is the technical word. And I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these links to these categories. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and grab category 3. All right, so we have the live links here, adding them to my notepad. Move this out of the way. And let's add this back here. Okay, oops. All right, so now we have the links to those categories. So let's go back and edit our page. And here is where we're going to create these category like images here. Okay, now this is actually so much easier than you may think that it is. Okay, so I'm going to click here now. I need to add new rows. Okay, so since I have 3 categories, I'm going to add 3 columns here. So I'm going to add that here. Now, what I need to do here is I'm going to add some headline text. Okay, and then I also want to add, let's see what we had here. So let's grab another headline text. Let's just duplicate this. And then we have a button. So I'm going to click here and add a button. All right. So this headline text, I'm actually going to completely delete. And I'm going to come over here. This is a little hack for you guys. And I'm going to choose the icon. Let's choose folder. And this one looks good. So I'm actually just going to have no text in this field, and I'm going to just choose the icon. And of course, whatever icon color I want it to be, I can actually just change this over here. So if I wanted that to be white, I could do that. I could also change the size of this icon here on desktop, and then also on mobile, but we'll come back to mobile. I want to do the desktop version first. I think on mine, I made this maybe 30. So let's just choose 30. And then we'll check the mobile version in just a second. So let's call this cat 1. And then now you'll see, well, let's make this white also. Okay. And then now we have this ugly green button. Let's go ahead and make this transparent. And let's, instead of click to sign up, we want to say learn more. Okay, we do learn more. And let's put a little cool arrow next to it. So let's go, where is the arrow? Here we go. After, icon pick after. Then I'm going to search for arrow. Here we go. So now you'll see I have our image here, category 1, and learn more. Learn more is still too big. So what I'm going to do is adjust here. And let's make this a little bit smaller here. Category 1. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So now what we need to do is adjust the outside of it. So I'm going to click on the column here where I've selected everything that's purple. Okay. And I want to actually change the background. You can see it's clear. I want to change that to, let's make it black. Okay. Now, all of the edits that I'm doing right now are going to be for that area. So what I want to do is kind of jazz that up a little bit. Okay. I want to go to advanced. I'm going to add a border here. I'm going to add like a gray border and keep it about 2x because it kind of makes it glow a little bit. I'm kind of liking that style. I'm going to actually make the border radius about 15, just to round it off a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and choose um, all edges there. Okay, so I think that looks good. I could also add some shadow to my box if I wanted to there, just to give it a little bit of depth. And since I only have 3 categories, looking at it right now, I think maybe this needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's make this folder a little bigger, like 50. And let's make this title a little bigger, maybe 40. And we can keep this the same. Okay, so what I want to do before I start duplicating is I want to check out the mobile view. Okay, so not too bad, but I think this needs to be a little bit larger. So we'll say 45. This looks good, so we'll keep that as is. This is a little bit too large, so I'm going to go up here to mobile font size, make that a little bit smaller. Okay, so I like what that looks like on desktop and mobile. So now what I need to do is just duplicate this twice. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm just going to delete these extra columns here. So now all I need to do is change this to 2, change this to 3, and then now I need to grab my sheet here, and I'm going to add these links to these buttons. Okay, so I'm going to click the button on the left hand, or on the right hand side. I'm going to scroll all the way down and choose website URL, and I'm going to paste that there. Let me go ahead and grab tab 2 and click on the button and come down here to website URL. And let's go ahead and grab the 3rd link here and click on the button and scroll down here, website URL, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save now because we made a lot of changes. And there's one more thing that we need to do here. Okay, so now that we have these, we don't necessarily need this anymore. Okay, so we can just delete that. You can see we're getting a little closer to what I've created here. Okay, so we have our I can remove this if I'm not going to train on that, but basically we have our menu up here. We have how can we help you with the search box. We have all of our categories and buttons that link out to it, but we actually need the blog posts now. Like you can see here, let me go back to the main page. You can see here that we need to have this on the page. Okay, now that's really important because that's what tells the entire system that this is actually a blog page. All right, so I'm going to just add a new section here. I'm going to add full width. I'm going to add a row here. Let's just say 1. And then I'm going to add the blog post element. Okay, so this is really important. Like I said, this is what tells the system it's a blog. Now we have our categories built. I'm going to say on this page, on this blog element here, I want it to show all categories, but of course, or all posts. All right, now I don't have to. I could just choose category 1 and then all the posts within that category will show up here. But for this example, I'm just going to choose all. I'm going to keep it like that. We'll choose 6 posts to show up on the page. And of course, I can edit any of these things here. If I want to make this blue, maybe I want this text to be white. I can add a border color here. Maybe I wanted it to be this color. I could add that there and then save. Okay. Now I also can choose if I want it to be standard or the compact. So I'll show you the difference. If I preview this page now, you'll see here that we have our header up here. We have our categories and you'll see that we have article 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So that's what that would look like there. If I chose the compact view and save, then if I refresh this page, then you see it's vertical like this. So really it's a personal choice, whatever you prefer, how you want it to be displayed, but it does need to be on the page. And also, you know, it will show the most recent articles. So that's actually helpful to see the most recent. Okay. And then of course you have the ability to search between the categories. So you'll see if I click here now, it's going to go to category 1 or article 1 in category 1. Okay, and then of course they can click back to go back to the home page here. And then of course, if they click on category 3, then they're going to go to article 3 in category 3. Okay, so that is the basic functionality of your blog, how you can use it as a knowledge base and then I hope that even though this design is pretty basic, I hope it opens up your mind to all of the different ideas and outside of the box thinking that we can use these tools that we already have that aren't going to cost us any more money, that we can use that not only for our own business, but our client's business, right? If you are able to create a knowledge base for your client without it costing you anything in addition, that is definitely powerful. Plus, I hope in the future we have the ability to duplicate blogs and blog posts with snapshots, because that, again, adds another layer of opportunity within your HighLevel account. So thank you all so much for joining me. Again, if you want to join our program, you can go to bridgetbartlett.com. We have options for new and current HighLevel members to join for free. So thank you all again for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.